T-shirts.
Oh yeah, man. My boy Kobe Bryant in the house. Kobe. He's I love
Rest
Kobe
in peace,
Bryant.
Kobe and his baby girl.
No doubt, man.
All right,
Still
we're
breaks
live.
my. All right, let's do
Hey,
it.
everybody.
Hi,
What's
hello.
up, everybody? What's
What's
up?
Kevin is back. For those of you who missed him last week, everyone's out there.
I'm back in the house. I'm back in the house. What's up? What's up, family?
Yeah. So, of course, you know, the title of today's show is Everything in America is About Race. Everything is about race. If you didn't think everything was about race, well,
We're here to prove it.
Yeah, we're here to prove it.
We are here to prove it. And it doesn't take much. We don't have to go too far.
Yeah, we got it on video.
Absolutely. And, you know, everyone's been talking about this video, and we are not different from everyone else. We too will speak on this because it deserves to be spoken on, and I'm sure we're each gonna have our own different angles as to what happened here. But here we go.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that was.
Did you put the chairs and the Crocs? This is educational purposes. We do not own the rights to any of this. This is what we our opinion only. Go ahead. Fair use.
Right. Thank you, Tiff.
Shout out
The Hat Man Shuffle.
If you're young or you're old, here we go. We gonna show you how it goes. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick. Now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself.
All right, that was the funny stuff. Now here comes the deep stuff.
Why do you think people have such strong reactions to watching this video?
When those guys, white guys, saw this black guy in uniform, they saw a person of authority, and they just didn't feel as if they should have any respect for this black guy, even though this is 2023. But I think it has resonated worldwide because people associate Montgomery with civil rights. Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to relinquish her seat on a downtown Montgomery bus. In 1961, the Freedom Riders arrived in Montgomery. That same area along the river was where African Americans were brought into Montgomery as enslaved persons. I firmly believe that viewers need to say that despite the progress we assume that we have made, we still have some people out there who hold on to feelings and memories of yesterday.
So why is the Alabama boat brawl such a significant cultural moment? Well, it's because it was a hate crime that was interrupted. White folks are feeling so emboldened in this nation. They thought they could jump that black man and there would be no consequences, partially because we have a track record of violence being done to black folks in this country and there being no consequences for that violence. And it is rare that we are there to interrupt the hate crime as it's happening. And it's rare that there's enough of us just there to really interrupt it en masse. And it's rare when the hate crime is surrounded by people with cameras capturing the moment and doing commentary. And it's rare when there's a DJ doing music alongside. And it's rare when the criminal justice system does not punish us for protecting ourselves. But they were smart for that. Because all that energy that we're spending right now making memes, we could be spending that energy making something else. So they were real smart to support this moment of black joy because it could be black
I swear this is the last thing I'm going to say, but I just found this out. Montgomery Brawl. Okay. The family that started it, if any of you other people had questions about their intentions, or, oh, they were probably just drunk, or it wasn't racism, it couldn't have been racism. Get this, I just found this out. They went to the hospital, like 4 of them went to the hospital because they were so messed up, right? They're in Montgomery, Alabama. So a lot of the hospital staff are people of the global majority, and they didn't like that. They were calling them the N-word, called the police on them, and the police basically said, you can either stay and get treated or you can leave. And they left. So that right there tells you everything you need to know about that family. Okay? So if you had any questions, it absolutely was about racism. It was. Okay? Don't question it. That's the truth. And if you're not sure about what I'm telling you, go look it up.
Oh, say, can you see by the blood in the streets that this place doesn't smile on you, colored child, whose blood built this land with sweat and their hands. But you'll die in this place, and your memory erased. Oh, say, does this truth hold any weight? This is not the land of the free, but the home of the slave.
With the knowledge you gain, break away from the chains. We helping you grow the Black Therapy Show. You be in a safe space, dealing with the black trauma. We unpacking and inspecting all our baggage and drama. Cause we gotta unite, no more killing each other. It's time to see a new future for my sisters and brothers. You know it, Kevin, Carl, and Tiffany. You'll have an epiphany. We'll give you everything you need to handle the enemy. Giving you empathy, we gon' challenge you mentally. The right conversation so you grow exponentially. We built your penitentiaries, we built all your schools. Gave us brainwash education, just making us fools. Hatred was what we got in exchange for love. No more manipulation from our God up above. No, it's Carl, Kevin, and Tiffany. Now welcome to the Black Therapy Show. Let's go.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
everybody.
what's up? What's up? What's up?
You guys know why I do this show? I do this show because I love Black people. That's why I do this show. And that's why I get here every Sunday, and I truly look forward to this show every freaking Sunday because I love Black people.
We love you too, and we love Black people too. Yes.
Oh my God. So Kevin was out doing his thing, spreading his fame across the land last Sunday, but he's here live with us today.
I'm here today live. Glad to be alive.
Tiffany, you do have like a sunshine. You look like you got like an angelic thing going there. Like got like some.
Yeah, see that
Yeah,
sun coming down.
it's probably the
yeah,
sunshine.
but
But is
it looks
it's
cool,
okay?
Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah,
looks,
yeah. Just one
Well, it's
side is
also
angelic,
I
the other
see.
side is a little devilish.
yeah.
Well, I'm happy. I'm happy.
All right.
Good for
I
you.
want to say welcome our viewers already that we have one. I'll just name a couple. Donna, always there. Donna is like
Hey Donna, we see you in the
Donna
chat.
Hagen, Karen Francis, Black Pint. That's a new one from YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us, Black Pint. Karen Francis. We had a chat after the show last Sunday. Karen, thanks for joining us again. Nicole,
Yes.
who's always here.
My sister.
So please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified when we go live every Sunday at 7 p.m. And this show is called the Black Therapy Show because we are here just so we have an outlet, right? Because Black people, we deal with stuff every day and we just hold it all in. And sometimes you feel like you have nowhere to go, no one to talk to. You feel so alone. So we're here to just let you know, this is a show where you can come on, you can talk about what, and we might have a solution, or someone that's watching might have a solution for whatever it is you're dealing with. So it just feels good to get it out. I know we have some critics that say we offer no solutions to anything, but we don't have all the solutions. But what we do have is a lending air where we can listen to people and we get to talk about stuff, and it helps. It helps me, it helps Tiffany, it helps Kevin, it helps people watching, people that chime in. It just helps to talk about stuff. So that's why we are the Black Therapy Show. So let's get it. Go ahead, Kev.
I would say to our critics, there's like at least 100,000 other channels you can tune into.
Which is why I don't understand why if you click on our link on our show and you don't like what you see, why not just keep going? Why?
Because our critics, thing about our critics, and I know some of them, like, they won't even go over to Fox News or something like that, and or any of those type of right-wing radio shows, Mark Levine and all those crazy guys who preach hate against people that look like us. They don't go over to their shows and criticize them, call in on their call line or anything like that.
No, they don't do that.
Tucker Carlson and all these guys have these podcasts that are making millions of dollars. They don't get no hate from guys, but people come on our show, few, and say negative things about what we're doing. But most people that watch our show are regulars and people that really dig the show. So we appreciate those who watch the show that really like the show.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're going to talk about the Alabama brawl, the boat. I mean, it's almost a week ago, but we have our own, like I said, we have our own point of view. When I saw it, I felt good because I saw Black people come into another Black person's aid, right? And it felt so good because so many times you just stood by and watched. Like one guy that I saw talk after he watched the brawl, he said, if somebody had stepped in for George Floyd, he would still be alive today.
That is true.
Yeah, and that is so true that if one, all it takes is for one person to make a move. All it takes is one person. For me, my whole take on it was seeing Black people coming together to help another Black person, because some people might want to say it wasn't about race, it was about some rich people with a boat who didn't want to move the boat and got mad. No, but like the brother said in that video, they saw a Black man in authority and they had no respect for him. And I had to deal with that in my life where no one wants to listen to you just because you're Black. Remember when Obama was president and he got off the plane and some white lady had a finger in his face, right? She had her finger. She was a senator from
Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah, she had her finger in the president's face.
Nikki Haley, I believe her name is. I believe Nikki Haley. Yeah.
So they have no respect for us. So that was my take on it. I didn't get a chance to do a lot of research on the whole Alabama thing, the historical effects.
I got you.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Hey, everybody. What's up? Make sure y'all like and subscribe and share. So, I'm gonna tell y'all, I have been singing "Way in the Water, Way in the Water, Black Boy." Yo, let me tell you something. When that boy started swimming, that was it. I was done. I have watched the video at least 150 times. Okay, but we must talk about the history of Alabama. Alabama is where the civil rights started. If you listen to Martin Luther King, he said he don't went all over the South. Alabama is the most racist state of it all, okay? They are the birthplace of the Confederate. They're one of the first colonizers. Alabama is it. We need to talk about, first of all, the 1963 Young People March. You remember when we talked about this not too long ago, when them kids was getting water hosed, okay? And what was the repercussions to that? Them 4 little girls getting killed in the church, okay? Then we also have Bloody Sunday. That was in 1968 with Senator John Lewis, where him and a whole bunch of people walked across the bridge. I think it's Edmund Pittston Bridge.
Named after KKK member, by the way.
Named after a KKK, a grand wizard at that. And they whooped their ass from the front of that bridge to the back of the bridge, okay? I mean, people were knocked out, Billy Club, just to fight for civil rights, okay? They also have the story of the last slave ship, the Cotillia, okay? That was dropped off in 1860. They had it hidden. They actually burnt it down to make it float, but the people started they had land. I think the slave master wanted to give them land because he didn't even supposed to have them. And he had them hidden for almost a week. So now it's called Africa Town. And they actually the 6th generation there. So it's so much history in Alabama and where that whole situation happened. Do you believe that day that it was a whole bunch of women in white and pink taking flowers to the water to give honor to the ancestors that were there, that came on those waters? That is the Mississippi River. Okay, they brought in slaves there and they sold slaves there on that same exact area. This white man said, and let me tell you something, I went online, I wanted to hear what the white people were saying. One white man said he done been there. He said it's markers all over the place, history of what is going on. What made these white people really think that they can hit somebody and nobody wasn't gonna say anything? When you saw that hat go up, that was the Bobby Smurda. This is a hot man summer, black man summer. Okay, he was not having it. That was the last straw. Come on, down there, you know how much racism they deal with, and they have to turn the other cheek. And finally, somebody hit him. He said, "I'm losing my job today." You understand what I'm saying? And everybody that was on that boat, they was like, "Oh no!" You got to remember, they watched everything. They saw their friend, their worker, their co-worker getting abused, and they could not do anything. That's why that boy jumped in the water. And if you look, he didn't jump in the water like a swimmer. He jumped in the water like he was trying to run on the water, like he was trying to get over there to tear some ass up. And he did. We want to give a salute to Mr. Aaron. That is the young man that did the fighting. We also want to give a shout out to Mr. Pickett. His name is Mr. Pickett, Damon Pickett. He's the one that threw the hat up in the air, okay? We also want to give a shout out to the chair warrior, okay? The chair warrior, Mr. Reggie Ray. He's the one that was doing the swinging and stuff like that. You saw that swinging and stuff like that. We also want to give a shout out to Miss Tammy. Miss Tammy was the one with the blonde hair and she threw the girl in the water. We got to give a shout out to her, okay? It's a whole bunch of shout outs, but I'm sorry, y'all. I was like mad hype. I'm sorry.
I see that. So let me ask you a question, because it's a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing to see Black people come to the aid of a Black man. So do you think that things would be different if we took this approach in the 60s? Like, we're always outnumbered, we're still outnumbered, but I'm just saying, in the 60s, like Dr. King's message was nonviolent. Do you think that was the wrong message for him to have that approach? Because those guys, believe it or not, wanted to fight back. You know,
What
they
you mean?
wanted to fight.
What you
I
mean?
said they didn't. Back in the '60s, when we see like videotapes or stuff like that of the dogs and the hoses and the billy
Oh
clubs
yeah, they
and
didn't fight back.
the nonviolent, they didn't fight back. It wasn't because they were cowards. They were told by leaders like Dr. King that not to fight back, that the nonviolent approach was the right way to go. So as much as they wanted to fight back, they followed Dr. King and didn't fight back. So my question to the panel and anybody watching, do you think that if Black people fought back in the 60s, do you think things would be different, you know, as far as, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think what Dr. King did back in the 60s worked for that time, because back then it didn't see. I think today you feel like you have more white people, I guess you can say, kind of on our side. Well, I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but back then it seemed like every single white person, like 99.999% of the white people back then, I mean, you see thousands of white people show up when the Black people move into a neighborhood, when Black people try to go to school. Thousands of white people would just show up, you know.
right. So in this day and age, we have thousands of white people that show up for George Floyd protests for George Floyd. So I see what you're saying. You're saying like times have changed now to the point where we're not so outnumbered because there's more Jane Elliott's in the world, I should say, or is that what you're saying, Carl? Or
yeah, it seems like, I don't know if a lot of people say to me, well, non-racist white people are the majority. So if they're the majority, how do the racist white people scare them into silence? You know, I'm thinking
something that you said. It was white people that did help. It was a lot. I did see many that was on that Peniston Bridge. It was the priests. They was there. They was getting shoved and disrespected too. It was people out there, that a handful, okay, that was out there that was helping, you know. But now, like he said, this is a different era, a different time. We fought back by not doing what they did, where they was hurting us and harming us. We said no, non-violence, because if we would have did that, they would have killed us all. So you understand what I'm saying? They would have literally killed us all because we fought back. But now we're in 2023, right? You cannot sit back and people are watching. Something my friend Ness said, she said they must have forgot that they didn't have no hoods on. Okay?
Yeah.
Before them to actually do it and then not think that anything happened. And also, they did not press no hate charges on them. It's not no hate charges. They don't feel like it was racist or it was any racism. Yes, it was. A Black man touched their boat to move it up a couple of notches, and they got mad because they said, nigga, why is you touching my boat? He said they was disrespectful to him. He wrote a statement. It said that they were very hard to him because he wanted to move the boat, but they asked them for almost 30 to 35 minutes to move the boat. They was on a loudspeaker 3 times. They sent matter of fact, everybody calling him a security guard. He's not a security. He was a co-captain. Yeah. They sent him over in a little boat with the white young man, which was 16 years old. They sent him over there. Did you see when he tried to help? The man punched him in his stomach. His mother is suing them now. You understand? His mother pressed charges on him. Because you saw what he did. As soon as they punched him in his stomach, he took off. He was like, I can't be in this fight. Yeah. I'm not going to win this fight.
Yeah. I mean, I saw several videos where they said when the white family that started this shit, when they went to the hospital, I showed one video with a girl, you know, they go to the hospital staff is mostly Black, and they were calling them the N-word. And, you know, and they called the police about it, and the police showed up and said, hey, this is who's here, and if you don't like it, go somewhere else. So it, like the girl said in the video, it was about race.
It was about race, and because of the history of Alabama and the deep-rooted racism in Alabama, please, we all know what it was. They was not happy with a Black man in authority telling them what to do. When only thing they had to do was move their platoon up a couple of notches. That's it. That's it. And this could have been avoided. Now y'all had to get stomped out, dragged, threw in the water, and bust upside the head by wait a minute, because we cannot not give a shout out to the person. What's his name? I think his name is Alexander. He was the one that actually invented the chair.
A black man actually invented a folding chair. Is that for
yes?
real?
His name is Nathaniel Alexander. We want to give a shout
That
out to
is
you and a
hilarious.
salute and say thank you for inventing the folding chair. We knew the folding chair could have solved racism. God, we would have been busting him.
That's hilarious.
Black Pint, what up, Black Pint from YouTube? He said, I believe that Dr. Martin Luther King did right, but I believe that he didn't want all of the black men to be killed. Yeah,
yes.
Those white people, they wanted you to do something.
Yes.
Go ahead, do something so I can kill you.
Yes. Give them the reason to take your head off and give you the Do you know in 1980 a man was hung in Alabama? I think his name is Donald. His mother Sue too. Right downtown right there downtown there. That black man was hung. So yeah, they got issues down there in Alabama. But I'm happy that them people are standing up. I'm happy that they took up for their co-worker. They saw them in distress. Because if you listen to the young lady Tammy said they watching it, right? But she said nobody on the top was doing nothing. Nobody. And it was cops up there because they called the cops on the people. So if you look, it's cops up there. They sat there and watched this whole melee go down. And only one guy that came down, I think he had a black top and a white shirt. And we salute him because he was actually trying to break it up. You understand? But they still was swinging.
Yeah. Yeah. Black Pint says, yeah, they so used to doing it and not being punished for it.
And not being punished for it.
They got punished.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just put the link in the chat. If anybody wants to come on and join the panel, you're more than welcome. Please be respectful. We're not here to argue. That's not what we do. If you watch our show every Sunday, we don't get into arguments. We don't get into name calling and that kind of stuff. If you have a valid point or something to add, fine, jump on. But if you're here to yell and scream and cuss and that kind of stuff, then obviously you'll be removed immediately. So even though that happened and millions of people have watched it, that still is probably not going to deter other white people or change. I mean, like, I don't know if the things are ever going to change.
No, but it's taking a step, a swimming step. Yo, that boy broke stereotypes and everything. They couldn't believe they saw that afro in the water going up and down. They were like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Yeah. So, but
what type of change would you like to see, Carl, like effective in 2023? Like, what would make you comfortable as an American that you are now? What do you want?
American.
And I would love to see. I would absolutely love to see, and I know I've said this many times, and many people keep saying this. I would love to see more Black unity. I would, and I know it's going to take some pain. It's going to take a little bit of suffering, and I've said this, but I know this is just to the extreme. If we had to go back, just give us like a huge piece of land, and we had to start from cooking on rocks or whatever, as long as we have our own, our own stuff. I just want to see more Black unity. Can
I say something? It's funny you say that, because like last week, as you guys know, I was performing at a casino on an Indian reservation last week.
Yeah. And
I kept thinking about this the whole time I was there. I was performing there for 5 nights at Harris Casino.
Yeah.
Cherokee, North Carolina is an Indian reservation. And the whole time I'm thinking, I'm on an Indian reservation and they own this casino. And they own this massive land that I'm on. I took a helicopter ride and went through the mountains of the Cherokee Mountains on a helicopter. which is scary as shit, by the way. You don't ever do that again, Kevin Lee. But anyway, I took a helicopter and I'm riding through these mountains and over this beautiful land for like 12 minutes, and I'm like, they own this. This was given to them, or it's taken from them for starters, but given back to them as reparations, right?
Yeah.
In a sense. So as I'm thinking about this, the whole time I'm on this reservation, I couldn't stop thinking about it as I see, American Indians walking through the casino, some of them employees and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, whoever owns this casino and owns this land, whatever Cherokee Indians that run the government there, these people are filthy rich,
Yeah.
And because I remember the Powerball was the Mega Millions, is like billions of dollars, right? And I wanted to play one, and they're like, "Oh, there's no gambling on the reservation." Like, what do you mean? I'm in a casino. They go, "Oh, well, there's no lottery, no North Carolina State lottery on the reservation." So I had to drive 2 miles off the reservation to play a Mega Million, right? Yeah. And then I drive back on the reservation. I'm going, "Oh, I get it. There's a government, I guess, American Indians that run this shit." You know what I'm saying? Like, this is their shit. Like, this is their land. Their land. It just freaked me out, man. I just thought about it for the 5 nights I was on that Indian reservation. Like, Black people, we the only people that haven't gotten any like reparations. American Indians have gotten it. The Jewish people have gotten it, and the Holocaust didn't even happen in America, but they still got some reparations. And that happened on another continent, right? And Asian people, I believe, got some sort of reparations, to my knowledge.
Everybody got reparations except for us.
Yeah, Black people, the African American slaves of this country and their ancestors have not received any. And that goes into our next topic, right, Carl? Because we're going to talk about the judge who denied the reparations for the people at Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah, so I thought about it when I was on that Indian reservation last week, man. Shout out to the American Indians. I mean, they got their piece of the land, I guess, because they own a lot of land and reservations, and they own a lot of casinos throughout this country. And we don't own shit.
Yeah. Let's go right into the whole reparations thing and the whole Tulsa thing, because that is just crazy. Anyway, here we go.
But the minute the police kill one of us and we got to go to the streets, where they at? When it's time for us to fight for reparations, where they at? I just read an article the other day that most Americans are opposed to reparations, but they'll dance to your music. But at the end of the day, when it's time to distribute the resources, that's what matters. When it's time to distribute the resources, don't none of them want to see Black people get what we are due as a result of the unfair forced labor of our ancestors for 2.5 centuries. How dare you say we're not entitled to reparations when we're the reason America is America? And so that's why we have to stop focusing on the social too much, because even with integration, right? Black people always talk about the social integration. If America truly believes in integration, prove it. Prove it. I'm 17% of the population, 12 to 17%. Give me 12 to 17% of your banks. Give me 12 to 17% of the homes.
Arabs ain't built America, Black people built America. Chinese ain't built America, Black people built America. Jews ain't built America, Black people built America. Mexicans ain't built America, Black people built America. Anglo-Saxons ain't built America, I built America. So don't talk to me about no damn minority set-asides, because I'm not no damn minority. That's for your immigrants. I was not an immigrant. My ancestors were imported. My ancestors were imported. My ancestors were not immigrants. My ancestors were imports. Remember, you didn't even consider them people. Remember, I am not an immigrant. I am an import. And as an import, there is no other group you can lump me in with. And Black people, this is why we got to be unapologetically African.
You can't name me a single white billionaire, Chinese billionaire, Arab billionaire who doesn't employ at least 5 to 10,000 of his own race. Now show me a Black billionaire who employs 5 to 10,000 of his own race. You know why you can't? Because the white billionaire says that my success must automatically reciprocate to my people, or I will be rejected by my people. Do you understand me? Black billionaires, they only are concerned about themselves and their family, and they simply want all the other black people to worship their wealth. You feel me? So they'll come in a ghetto with a big truck and a car, right? So they can be worshiped by blacks, but they don't want to empower blacks. Black millionaires and billionaires do not systemically empower other black people. Black celebrities do not systemically empower other black celebrities. White people do it as a rule of thumb. We hardly if ever do it. Look at Oprah. No disrespect. The richest woman in the history of North America, black or white, Oprah Winfrey. The richest woman in the history of North America. Regardless of race, I don't think she employs 5,000 of her own people. Black money and white money do not behave the same. That's why you'll never find a filthy rich white man marry a poor white woman. You will never find a filthy rich white man marry a poor white woman. Never. But a filthy rich black man, his ass can't wait to get the brokest snow bunny in Liberty City and make her the mother of his kids. Dr. Umar.
If they was non-black, if they was Japanese, Chinese, Laos, Jewish, if they was part of the Holocaust, everything would have been paid back by now. But black people seem to don't realize the same people who oppressed us is still in charge. So you really think that they was going to give it back to y'all? Did y'all really think that? Black people are going to have to learn. There's going to have to be a revolution. This whole friendly thing ain't going to work. If we want what we going to have to get, I can't even talk. If we want what we want, guess what we're going to have to do? The way that we're aggressive with our own people, turn it around. It's so simple. I don't get my black people. Y'all really think the kumbaya going to work? Y'all been doing that for how many years? Martin Luther King, hand in hand. What happened? My people.
Tiffany, you want to take it?
I'll let y'all have it.
First of all, I can't stand. First of all, Dr. Umar was on point. Always
all
on
the
point.
time.
For her, we're not going to sit up here and say negative things about Dr. King, because if it wasn't for his sacrifice, our ass probably wouldn't be able to have this podcast right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it real. You know, Dr. King is gone. It's been over 50 years since he was assassinated. He was assassinated for a reason. He didn't die of normal causes or anything like that. He died from a bullet at the age of 39.
For fighting for black people rights.
Fighting for black people. The guy had a family, a beautiful wife and young kids. He never even got to see a chance to grow up because he's out in these streets sacrificing for us to be able to have the freedom to even get on a podcast and say something negative about him. So yeah, I'm a push back on that big time. So
but I think
we don't talk bad about Dr. King on this podcast.
You're talking about the last girl, right? The
last girl. Yeah. Her negativity towards Dr. King is unacceptable. But Dr. Umar was on point.
What did she say? I when I watched the video, I thought she was saying that okay, Dr. King tried the kumbaya thing, but that didn't work. So now it's time to do something else. That's what I thought.
No, I get that too, but still, elder, and he made this path for us. Yeah, it's time. We can't do how he did it before. We have to do it totally different because now we have the power. We are in the political system. We can make change, but it's really hard to make change when you still got them same slave master descendants running the country.
Fact.
You understand what I'm saying? They still running the country, still doing the same rules and regulations that they're doing now, and it's not working. So it has to change. And the people have to say something. Us, the people.
Yeah. And to get reparations, I mean, we have to go through, as much as we know we're owed reparations, and we see Japanese get reparations, the Jews still get reparations. To this day, America still... how much billions of dollars they give Israel every year, like clockwork. I don't know if it's a law, if it's built in, but every year America and it's not no negative thing against the Jewish community or Israel, but America gives Israel money every year.
They just gave Ukraine some more money. What do you Ukraine? That's enough for me when we over here struggling.
Which brings me to the point. prayers out to the people of Hawaii. Those terrible fires that are happening there. But we got all these people. Speaking of Oprah, showed up to help give a helping hand out there in Hawaii. But my point is, if everybody's not familiar with the fires that happen in Hawaii right now, it's devastating if you haven't heard about it. But you heard about the call?
Death, there's rebirth.
The fires of Hawaii. But my point is how come our government is not sending billions of dollars to Hawaii to help those people? That's how we do nothing to help our own people. Like we spend billions of dollars to Ukraine for a war, for bombs and airplanes and stuff like that. But this natural disaster that happened in Hawaii, which is part of the United States of America, and we have to rely on regular people to send money there, for funds and billionaires, Tyler Perry and Oprah sending some money out there, and people like that, donating money out to Hawaii right now. But yeah, Willie Nelson is putting money out there. He has a home there actually. But yeah, so all the entertainers are doing it. But what about our government? How come our government? I know it's off subject, but it just pisses me off when I think our government.
Well, why? Because okay, let's be honest. Whenever there's a natural disaster and most of the people affected are brown, black, any person.
I was getting ready to say that. Aren't there people of color?
Yeah, it doesn't touch the white people in America. It doesn't touch them unless it involves animals or blue-eyed white people. They don't feel it, right? You see those commercials where they show the dogs looking all sad and they're not having eaten and they want you to donate. And white people watch that and they feel more for those dogs than they would those people in Hawaii or people in Africa. Any country that has dark-skinned people, they don't feel it.
I agree, man. I hate to say it, but I agree.
It is, you know what I mean? It is.
But also, let me tell you something. When you have floods and fires and all of that, that's time for rebirth. Okay? Everything happened in the divine order. And maybe this had to happen so they can be able to see who they are. You understand? And know, like you said, they're people of color. And I heard a lot of them don't even think they're people of color. They just think they're Hawaiians. Okay? Yeah. But you are people of color. You are one of us, and they're gonna show you how they feel. So they're gonna see, and we send out love and peace and balance and hope that everything work out for them. It's sad. I can't send no money because I need a donation.
So Black Pint from YouTube says, "Sorry, but we need separation." I mean,
segregation, yeah.
We need separation. He said we need the separation. Like,
oh yeah, and but she said we need separation.
Yeah, we need separation, and we do though. And that's not a put down or when I say something, I say to my white friends, I say exactly the same thing. We need to separate and do our own thing. We're not going to reject anyone. Excuse me, but people do it all the time. White people do separation all day. Chinese that practice separation. The East Indians. Everybody practice separation, and then we as Black people, we have to go into their community to shop at their stores and do, or they come into our communities and set up their stores, but they practice separation all day and night. But whenever Black people talk about separation, everybody gets all up in arms, everybody gets scared. Black Pint also said when we were in segregation, we had more Black businesses. 100% correct. So what happened? But like we said last week on Kevin, we got comfortable.
Yeah, we got too comfortable.
We feel we've made it. They let us into their restaurants. They let us into their neighborhoods.
No, we fought to get into their restaurants. We fought to see, and that's the difference. You understand? When we really didn't even have to do all of that, but we just wanted to be treated equally. That was the main thing. We wanted to be treated equally, but we should have still kept our business with our own business. You understand what I'm saying? We should still be able to go into a store and not be judged, or you throw away a whole shoe if I put my pinky toe in it. You understand? Like the separation, I feel like she just said, shout out to Miss Black Pint. Yeah, it would have been better for us. And now, with the Asians, they didn't have an Asian Martin Luther King out there fighting for them to blend in. You understand what I'm saying? They was good with their separation. They was good with their tradition. You understand? And they built it. Even the Spanish, you see everybody have their own thing. But us, because we was out there fighting, you understand? And we open up doors for everybody else.
Yeah. And separation doesn't mean hatred. Doesn't mean you hate other groups. It just means you're trying to build your own group. That's all that means.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But we want to do it and tell everybody on the loudspeaker. Announcement. We're going to do this on our own. No, just do it. Because the Asian people don't go out and tell everybody. They just start building. The Spanish people will be 5 in an apartment, doing their thing, building houses. They don't come out and tell everybody we're the only one. We so flamboyant with it.
Yeah.
But we're the only group out of anybody that's here that was brought here for chattel slavery. I mean, you know, we're the only people that were brought here to build wealth. The Hispanics and the Asians, and they were brought here for that reason. So we were brought here and sold, you know,
for money.
For money or chattel slavery.
Property.
Yeah, so we're the only people on this land that had to deal with that. So that puts us in a different position, because if you look at the civil rights era of this country, led by the likes of Dr. King and the many others, John Lewis and all those who don't get notoriety that were out there, you know, freedom fighters of that time. Like you said, Tiff, there were no Asians. It may have been one, maybe two. There weren't a lot of Hispanics in that group. There weren't a lot of American Indians in that group either. And there were some whites, but not a lot, you know. I mean, we see that we had some white people involved in the movement, you know.
You said you saw Spanish people? I didn't see.
No, I'm saying I doubt if there were. I'm not saying there weren't. There may have been. I said, but I'm saying there weren't no large numbers of Hispanics, large numbers of Asians, or American Indians that were alongside King. If somebody can prove me wrong, I stand corrected, but to my knowledge, there weren't, you know. So yeah, so my point is, we're the only people who did what we had to do to get what we got at this point. You know, like we had to go through Jim Crow, slavery, followed by 150 years of Jim Crow, followed by the 50s and 60s civil rights, then followed by Nixon and Reagan administrations, you know, followed by George Bush Sr., who had some dirt involved with him, you know, and Clinton, you know, and Biden, who came with the bill, you know. So it's been stacked against us from day one, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been always stacked against us to succeed in this country. And with that being said, we're so resilient that we still have achieved a lot, you know.
Yes, we have.
I mean, the debt that the government went to keep Black people out.
Down.
The debt. Let me show you this video.
As the saying goes, those who don't know history are destined to repeat it. And at this juncture, after that conservative supermajority on the Supreme Court gutted affirmative action in higher education and struck down President Biden's plan to forgive more than $400 billion in student debt, I think it's time that we talk about how those two things, they've been linked for decades. Higher education in America didn't always come with such a hefty price tag. In fact, through the 1950s, it was largely free and treated as a public good. Why? Because graduates used their education toward the betterment of society. But that all changed in the 1960s when anti-war and civil rights student activism hit college campuses and universities. And those colleges and universities, they responded by developing affirmative action policies to diversify their overwhelmingly white student bodies. Then California Governor Ronald Reagan's education advisor, Roger Freeman, warned, "We are in danger of producing an educated proletariat. That's dynamite. We have to be selective on who we allow to go to college." That was the beginning of a domino effect. Reagan cut funding to California's public university system and began charging in-state tuition and fees to, quote, get rid of undesirables. And as president, Reagan cut funding to the Department of Education by 25%. Colleges and universities began charging higher tuitions to make up the shortfall, and the federal government began to encourage low-income students to apply for student loans. The truth of the matter is the kids are not all right. In a political climate where precedent falls and civil rights continue to be eroded, what better way to, quote, get rid of the undesirables, as Reagan said, than to saddle them with debt and to make higher education a luxury?
That just pisses me off. That's so horrible.
Right? I mean, and people say, "Oh, pull yourself up by your bootstraps." Oh, just because you're black doesn't mean you can't.
What boots?
You know, just because you're black doesn't mean you can't get ahead in life. You know what I mean? There's no such thing as white privilege. They literally created student loans to deter black people from being
to
educated.
keep us in debt.
Yeah. Yes.
Look at these bills. Look at the rent. Look at all of these things that we have to deal with. And by the time we get our check, everything is gone. We don't have nothing to spend. That's sad. And it's still going on today. And I hope people out there, y'all are listening. Y'all are on point. Because you see right now, Africa is standing up. They talking about killing white farmers out there. Okay, they is really, people are waking up. You have to know your history. You have to know where you came from to be able to be who you are today. And we came from strong stock. And that right there, we still prevailed after you were still trying to sock us.
Yeah. I mean, calling us undesirables, right? I mean, that just shows you what they think of us. And that goes back to that brawl in Alabama. They don't see us as human. They don't see us as, I mean, that's what we're up against. That's what, and that's the purpose of this show. It's to show people what we're up against, and you got to learn how to maneuver or do whatever you can.
Yes.
We got to do whatever we can to help each other because that's what we're up against.
And when we work together, it works out. Because like you said, when you see that Alabama thing, everything was working out for them. They was on point. Everybody was on point with each other. Everybody clicked with each other. They was not letting nobody go down and get hurt. So know your history, y'all. We have to know our history.
Absolutely. That was the student loan. Now check out this video.
Called Race Tendencies and Traits of the American Negro, in which he lays out all the numbers, and then he concludes that if we simply avoided allowing black people to have any access to health care, that within 2 or 3 generations, the whole race would die out, and that would solve the race problem in America. When Teddy Roosevelt, 1912, proposed a national health care system, people said no because black people will get it. When Franklin Roosevelt proposed a national health care system, it was the same thing. We don't want black people to get it. When Truman tried it in 1947, same thing. Don't want black people to get it. We have to figure out a way to keep black people from using Medicare. And the way that they came up with was to have a 20% hole, a gap in Medicare, so that you had to pay 20% of your doctor's bill and your hospital bill, and that would discourage poor black people from showing up at the hospitals. Nearly 100% of the reason why the United States is the only country in the world that doesn't define healthcare as a right is because of racism. He published a book.
That, as they say, is baked into American society, right? I mean, like, how do you fight that? How do you fight that?
And this is what pushes I was reading something about a lady in Alabama that she's a doctor, and she remember as a little girl seeing the healthcare system and how this white doctor let this black lady die right in front of them and didn't help them. That inspired her to be a doctor in her community. Now she has a nonprofit. I will make sure I put it in the chat, her nonprofit, because I don't have it on me right now. But they help people that don't have affordable health care. All in the South, people that are middle age, that is my age, that's not seniors, y'all age, they can't get health care. Every month, if they want health care, they got to pay $400 just to get health care. They don't have money for health care like that to pay $400 a month. My sister don't have $400 a month to pay for health care when you got to pay all these bills. Like, they are ridiculous with their Medicaid services. And that's another thing. Down South, y'all have to fight for Medicaid if y'all need it so y'all can get some health care. Because there's a lot of people down there without no teeth either. I'd be very upset.
Well, people vote against their own interests. A lot of times, Tiff, I mean, like, for example, when Obama came over for Obamacare, It actually gave a lot of people health care, but then a lot of people, Trump promised to replace Obamacare if you vote for him. So a lot of people voted for him. Then he got into office, he didn't replace it. You know, he got rid of it.
He lied.
Yeah, thank you. But he didn't replace it. So a lot of people voted that had health care under Obamacare because it was called Obamacare. A lot of people voted against their own interests and so, well, we want Trump care. Like it's the same thing if Trump was to do it, right? But he didn't do it. He got your vote. You lost your health care. You voted for a guy. He didn't give you health care. Now you have no health care because you didn't want the black guy's health care because his name was on it. So people vote in the South. Mitch McConnell's state, was he out of Kentucky, I believe? Like all those people voted against having Obamacare.
Yeah, they didn't want it because they didn't even like his name on it.
They didn't want his name on it, and it was the same thing. Actually, the plan was already. I think Mitch Romney came up with this plan, so it wasn't like it was because a black guy put it through. Nobody wanted it, so people lost their health care because they didn't want a black guy name attached to their health. I mean,
that's how racist that they
it makes no sense. Like it makes no sense. You know, it's like, are you serious? Like, it makes no sense to me. I mean, that's how deep rooted hatred is. You know, that people would lose their health care because they didn't want a guy. You know, like if I get sick and I go to the hospital and they go, Mr. Lee, you have cancer, but we're gonna give you the best treatment money can buy because you have Trump care. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, whatever go get me well, fine with me. You know, but because it was Obamacare, they're like, oh no, I'd rather die.
Yeah, yeah, and that's how they felt, and it's sad just because his name was attached to it.
But don't forget, we live in a country where New Hampshire was the very last state to have Martin Luther King Day as a holiday. They rejected it. I mean, this is a day off, right? This is a day off from work with pay. And they fought it and fought it and fought it.
Yeah, they didn't want no nigga preacher up there. How dare y'all?
Can you
too far?
You know, to not want a day off from work. You know,
there are many states that were against it too.
Yeah.
One of the states that were against the Obama. I mean, not Obama. The holiday was Arizona. Arizona,
I wouldn't be surprised.
My mom and stepdad live in Arizona right now. But yeah, Arizona voted against the King holiday.
Yeah.
They don't want no black people holidays running around there on their calendar.
Guess who was leading that thing though? Was John McCain.
John McCain was leading.
The late John McCain was against the King holiday, yeah.
They could probably say, you black nigga.
It's crazy when you do your research and find stuff out, you know. And I kind of like John McCain. I feel bad when he passed away, and I watched the funeral on TV, and you know, military service and stuff like that for the country and stuff like that. Yeah, but when I find out this, and I already knew this before he passed, but still, yeah, that sticks with you, man. It bothers you when you say, "Man, come on." But when he ran for office against Obama, he did, you know, take up for Obama in a sense because people were calling him a Muslim and stuff like that. And he came out and said, "Look, Obama's not a Muslim. He's not trying to blow up the country or nothing like that." So he kind of came out and you know, he's going against Obama, you know, to be president. He came out and telling all these crazy racist white people to chill out with that crap about, you know, Obama. So, you know, people change, I guess, you know, but he was one of the guys
they changed later on, just like that. Yeah. I think some guy, his name was Wallace from Alabama. He wound up getting shot.
I don't think that
was one of the most racist
George
ones
Wallace?
there. And now all of a sudden, after he got shot, I'm sorry to black people.
Oh no!
You wouldn't be sorry before. You were just telling us segregation everywhere, segregation. You know, they be this really.
Yeah, the guy, I saw a video where guy said segregation now, segregation.
Yes. He wound up being confined to a wheelchair later on in his life because he got shot. You know, that's how karma works. But then afterwards, I want to say sorry to all the black people. Get out of here. I wanted to give.
Tiff had no forgiveness from Tiff, baby.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know what? You can forgive, but you never want to forget. We always gonna have that behind our head, and that's how I feel about, you know, our fellow white brothers and sisters. We never had a really good relationship. You understand what I'm saying? In my history, you know. So right now, I'm not gonna just trust you. You like a bad boyfriend I've been trying to get rid of. You know. So I also want to put light on Mississippi. They have this, I think it's called Rankin, Mississippi. 2 young men, Michael Jenkins and Eddie Parker, were assaulted by the police down there. I mean, it's graphic, okay? I mean, gun in the mouth. They sexually assaulted them, okay? And now they are suing. And the cops pleaded guilty because they knew what they did. Okay. So we definitely want to put that out there. Y'all don't know the story of the 2 young men that were tortured by the white cops. And I think it was like 5 cops, and they pleaded guilty to torture, sexual abuse. They used dildos on them. Do you hear me? Black men, these white cops did this to black men. Okay. Sexually assaulted them, then stuck the gun in his mouth, shot him in his mouth. So now they are actually in court. They're about to be sentenced soon, and they also is suing because they tried to erase it like nothing happened. So definitely, hopefully maybe we could talk about it on the next show. But yeah, Mississippi and they whole police department, they need to throw it away in the garbage. It's just too much. What you said, I didn't hear you, babes.
Sorry, I was muted. I was just looking for a video, so I muted myself.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I absolutely saw that video that you're talking about. I think I came across that video a while ago.
And guess how they got caught? Through the texting. Because somebody texted them and said, it's some black boys over at the house. Then they text them back. It's like, you ready for a mission? And they went over there and tortured them for hours. Doing what God knows what to them.
You know what? I don't think that I have never seen a race of people and not like them because of their race. It's a thought that's never crossed my mind. And I think that's a huge problem that a lot of black people have. I have never been part of a conversation where black people say, I hate white people, or I hate Indian people, I hate Chinese people. We always talk about what they do to us, or what they, you know what I mean? It's never outright hate for a person just because they're from a different culture or a different race. I've never been part of that conversation ever.
We was taught to turn the other cheek.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I think one of the hardest things for us as black people is understanding, how can a person not like you just because you're black, or just because, you know what I mean? Just because you don't look like them, because you don't talk or whatever. It just doesn't as many hundreds of years as we've been dealing with this. We still don't understand it. That was one of my first questions when I came to America, when I first moved to America, and people would tell me about racism and you can't go to this neighborhood. I was going to a supermarket. I don't know if they had Bradley's back in your day. They had Bradley's in your area. There was a Bradley's.
Never heard of Bradley's. Bradley's?
Bradley's is like a chain, like it's kind of like a chain of stores that sell different stuff, you know, like
is this
like, it was like Walmart. It was like a Walmart, but it's called Bradley. But anyway, I couldn't go to Bradley's in this neighborhood. It was South Boston. If you're familiar with Boston, South Boston was an area in Boston where I was told you don't go if you're black.
Oh, I believe.
So I had first moved here. My sister left me at home, and I told her I just want to get out the house. She said, you can go to the store, go to Bradley's. So I called a cab. She called a cab for me, told the cab to take me to Bradley's. She's thinking that I know which Bradley's to go to. I don't know.
You didn't know.
he took me to the Bradleys in South, which was further away, which I don't understand. I don't know, maybe he wanted to make some more money. So anyway, so I was ready to come home. I said, I'm leaving. She go back. I said, my Bradley. She go, which one? I go, what do you mean, which one? I don't know. And I told her what I can see. And she go, you're in South Boston. And she started to panic, you know.
Yeah,
so
Boston
I
is
started
racist.
to panic because now she's making me scared. But anyway, the cab came and took me home. But she's like, don't you ever go back to that Bradley's.
Yeah, that's like going to Bensonhurst.
In that neighborhood.
Yeah, that's hard.
You know?
Listen,
So
certain
I'm saying
neighborhoods
that,
you can't go.
yeah, we as Black people, we don't have those feelings, those thoughts.
Because we don't work on that. We're not on that frequency. You know, we're not on that frequency.
Yeah. Anytime you hear a Black person say they don't like another person, it's something personal. You know, but you know, that's it's a whole mentality.
Yeah.
G Carr, what's up, G? She says, I know Bradley's. There was one on 14th Street in Manhattan. Yeah, similar to Target. Yeah, it was like a Target.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Bradley's, huh?
Yeah, yeah. But Bradley's, the store is fine, but it's just where it was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I also remember my cousin. He was showing me around the neighborhood, and we were walking down the street, and he said, he yelled out, "Hey, honkies, come out! We want to fight!" And he started running. Now I swear, I'm standing around. I'm still walking. He's running. He's way ahead of me. He's laughing his ass off. And he's like, you know what could have happened? I go, I don't know. What do you like? What could have happened? And that was my, I would say, baptism into America.
Yeah, you cannot let no white men, like they tell you, the sun downtowns, don't let the sun hit you before, you know, that little saying. So yeah, you got to be careful, because they would rather catch you by yourself so they could do stuff and erase it. But you see, where at that docks, they couldn't do that. They couldn't erase that. All of that is right in front of everybody. But this is what I'm praying: that is no repercussions after that, y'all.
Yeah.
Because you know they're evil. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm praying. Remember, the last time they did something and Black people fought, they blew up a church with children in it, okay? Not too long ago. What, 50 years ago? 50, 60 years? That's not long ago. Okay, so we pray for these people. We also pray that they get jobs, because a lot of them got fired. Okay?
A lot of them got fired?
Yes, a lot of them got fired. If you listen to Miss Tammy talk, Miss Tammy said that day was the hardest day for her. She was having issues at home with her family, and then the lady wasn't paying her. The lady that owns that rowboat, they don't pay them on time. Okay, so she said that was a lot for her because she didn't get paid, but she loved her job. She loved the co-workers. Everybody took care of one another. So she didn't have a problem with going to work. And she said her head was, like she said, it was such a hard day. But when she saw her friend Aaron, which she said they grew up in the projects together. She said she saw Aaron getting hurt. She said something in her heart just broke. And she said all of them could not wait to get off the boat. They couldn't wait to get off the boat because they was going. They was ready. It's like once that happened, a light switch went off in them, and they could not deal with it anymore. And we want to give a shout out to every one of them, you know, that did do what they did, and they came out alive, because they could have been killed, y'all.
Yeah.
They could have pulled out the guns and shot all of them.
Yeah.
You know, so we want to definitely salute and hope that this situation will open up people's eyes, that we have to take care of one another, and we have to look out for one another, you know, and be on point and learn your history, learn where you came from, because everything comes with a history.
Yeah. I want to shout out to Venus Peace Love on YouTube, says she loves our channel. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please tell everyone.
Thank
also,
you.
Black Pint again comments. She said, when we are born in a loving family, you can love anyone, but when you're born without it, you hate people you don't even know.
Yes.
Which is absolutely true.
Yes.
Anyway, we're going to wrap up the show. But before we go, because the title of the show is Everything in America is About Race, Everything, I'm going to show this video. And if this doesn't prove to you.
Here you go.
It's nothing bad.
Your bonus videos be making me take earrings off.
No, well, it's just gonna show that everything in America is about race, and it's.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You know, that's all it's gonna do. It's gonna show that everything is about race.
Get your earrings ready.
No, it's not that kind. It's actually you might need some tissue.
Oh, crying.
Yes.
Listen to this. Lie on an official report and said they searched for 2 black children and never did. Never did. But the firefighters, they weren't fired for manipulating an official document, lying about their duty and oath to protect and rescue. Let's put up the picture of the family, okay? You see the 2 black children? They're dead. They're dead. Firefighters, 2 of them lied on the same report and said, oh, we did everything we could. We went aside, we did a sweep of the apartment. They did nothing, not a damn thing. Guess what? They are being protected, but I'm going to expose every single one of them. Keep that picture up. You're looking at Crystal Cooper. She's in the center. She's grieving the loss of her 2 sons, Sierra Mitchell and Lamar Mitchell, 12 and 9 respectively, dead. A Michigan mother is now demanding answers and accountability. After 2 firefighters gave an all clear. Now that's important to note. All clear means nobody else should come here to help. They gave an all clear during a house fire that left both of her sons dead. Flint is where this happened. Flint Fire Chief Raymond Barton found that Sergeant Daniel Snagoki and Michael Zlotek completed false reports about what occurred on that Memorial Day weekend fire. He said it. He said, yeah, these guys lied. He did something else. They claimed to have searched for the children on the 2nd floor, where the bodies of both of them, the 12-year-old and 9-year-old, were discovered by 2 other firefighters 6 minutes later. Now, keep in mind the variables so far. The fire chief says, yeah, they lied on an official report. What is that? That's violation of oath of office. That is a crime. That's a criminal act. You can actually be charged with a felony. 2 other firefighters ended up finding the dead bodies a crucial 6 minutes afterwards. After those firefighters, initial ones, lied. There's more. The chief recommended that the 2 lying firefighters, who happen to be white, be fired. He said they got to go. But one was allowed to resign because somebody decided to override the chief. And the other was suspended for 2 weeks and received additional search and rescue training before returning to the job because somebody decided to override that decision by the chief as well. Now, the person who decided to override this wanted to remain top secret. But I got the goods, and we're going to expose the individual who did it. There's more. Let's put up a picture of Miss Crystal Cooper, who was speaking at the.
That was this year.
Wow.
2023.
I thought firefighters was not prejudiced. They just save human beings.
Well, come on. You think it only relegates to police officers? I keep saying that.
I really thought that firefighters wasn't prejudiced. They just save people. You know, I'm like, wow.
What was that again?
They said Michigan, I think he said. Michigan?
Was it Michigan?
Didn't he? I thought he said Michigan.
Wow. That's shocking.
Yeah. Memorial Day. You know, that wasn't too long ago.
Yeah. Wow.
That's horrible. You know, I feel like if you get a job, you're doing the job because you are serving a purpose. And if you are a firefighter, you're supposed to save lives. Now, if they couldn't do it, because I know it is times when they can't save everybody, Carl. Okay, I get it. But if you are able to save them and you didn't save them, yes, you gotta go. You need to lose your license, your fire bill, your fire hose.
But that
All that gotta
shows
go.
Flint. Renee Lewis from YouTube says Flint. Karen Francis from YouTube says Flint. That was
And they
Flint.
already having problems with their water.
You know. But I'm showing that just shows the level of hatred. That just shows what we're up against. What up, Information Man? The Information Man just checked in. What's up, brother?
Information Man, what's up?
What's up?
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that just shows the level. That shows what we're up against. And like I always say on this channel, and I say it till I die, what else do black people need to see? What else do we need to see? That's what we're up against. You know, what else are we up against?
It's just sad.
If you as a firefighter can go into a burning house knowing there's kids in there and just let them die just because they're black, because that's what happened. They let those kids die just because they're black. What else would they not do? Right? You think they're surgeons?
They lost their job, right?
You think there's surgeons who don't have the same feel? Surgeons, doctors, nurses.
Well, I think he was a triage nurse. Just did a video on TikTok saying that this is his first time working in ICU, and he saw a doctor literally not help a pregnant woman that was bleeding on the inside because it's a cesarean. And he said if he didn't push him like, yo, you gotta help her, you understand what I'm saying? It wouldn't have been done. And he's telling everybody, you have to communicate. You have to say something. If you feel like something is not right, say something. Just don't sit there, because a lot of them don't care. And then it's sad because you have a lot of people, please, Carl, don't take this wrong. You have a lot of people that are West Indians working in the medical field, and y'all are disgusting. Okay? Be nice to people. Sure. I'm sorry.
But no, I mean, you can't offend me. It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. But I'm just, we just got to know what we're up against.
Yeah. And they're not for us. So we definitely got to be vocal and say what we need to say. Because they said a closed mouth don't get fed.
Yeah.
You know.
You're right. We can video the police. We can't go in the operating room and if there's 10 white people in the operating room, there's a high possibility all 10 of them, if they operate on a black person, don't give a shit.
Yeah, but also you just had a black woman just recently pop a girl baby head off. Did you hear that? Heard about that?
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, pop the baby's head off.
And they kept it a secret, man. They didn't even tell that girl she had a baby, and they was trying to pull the baby out, and they used the probe. And the probe popped the damn baby head off. The girl had to deliver the baby head through her vagina, and they had to cesarean her to get the shoulders and the legs out. And they kept it a secret from her. Yeah, I was like, oh my God. She was a black woman at that.
Yeah, the baby's head came off. Oh my God. Yeah.
Right off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you are doing this job, do it because you love it and you care for the people. Don't do it for the money, because you're going to mess up.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, man. Yeah, I read about that the other day. That is crazy, shocking. Yeah.
The woman
I didn't know that's even possible, that a baby's head could come off. Oh my.
She must have popped. She said the way she pulled it, it popped right off. Remember, the children are sensitive. They just coming out the womb. They fresh. They didn't even open their eyes or nothing. They didn't even scream. And you're gonna pop the baby head. And the thing is that they kept it a secret, like nothing happened. They just told her that the baby died, and they was rushing them to do a cremation, and they didn't want them to do an autopsy.
Well, they found out. I think she found out. I could be wrong, but I think she found out through the funeral parlor.
Yes, you're right. The funeral parlor wound up telling her
that the baby head came off. Yeah, the funeral parlor told her that because she didn't know. She just thought the baby died, but then she found out that the baby head came out in the funeral parlor. Yeah, she's gonna get a big lawsuit against that hospital, I'm sure.
Big lawsuit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was a black woman it happened to, and it was done by a black nurse.
By a black doctor, female doctor.
Female doctor. Oh wow.
Oh yeah, wow.
Popping off people's heads and stuff. That's horrible. She good, because I probably would have.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we've come to another end of our show. Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone that's been watching. Thanks to everyone that's been supporting our show. Thank you for the love we got. And thank you to the people who commented and also the ones who apologize if I made you sad. I got some sad faces on some of the stories we shared, especially the last one where the firefighters left the 2 black kids.
Yeah,
But it just shows you. Thank you to Miss B for checking in from YouTube. Haven't heard from you in a while. Renee Lewis says another great show again. Thank you. You're very welcome.
You. And we're going to end the show on a high note. Folding chairs are $19.99. If anybody want to get one, $19.99.
Now I'm about to shut you down. Why the clients went to Walmart to go buy the chairs? They had the chairs with a surrounded and said the chairs are not being sold because they.
Are you serious?
Yes,
At
I
Walmart?
was on the floor. They said they had it surrounded like a string around it.
Yeah.
It was like, we will not be selling no folding chairs.
But they seriously think black people are going to try to use chairs as a defensive?
Listen, I already saw 2 videos of people using the chair, about to use the chair. The chair
Really?
is a sensation. People are using it. They said this is a new license to carry. They're using it as a flag. They don't put it in the Good Times poetry, where everybody was dancing and stuff. I mean, that chair is going on tour right now. They should actually give the chair its own page, because that chair went around the world and
Well, you know how our news cycle is. In 48 hours, it'll be something different. You know, I mean, it's like everything changed. Every week the news cycle changes. So, like this week, the chair. A couple weeks ago, it was the Titanic exploding underwater. Like every week is something different, you know, that goes crazy on the internet. So this cheer gate will be over with in about 3 or 4 days. So
no, but it's actually a national holiday now.
It should be.
Yeah, it's a national holiday.
What up,
Hey, information.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Peace. Good to see you all.
Hey, our information man for Christmas, man. You celebrate Christmas, man. Because for Christmas, we're gonna pitch out, get you a watch.
I think this show is on your show. You did a show today, right?
Yeah, I just got finished doing my show around this same subject matter about what happened in Montgomery, Alabama.
Yeah.
And I kind of got into the historical history around the area where this took place. Because that
You freeze on us?
Freeze, Jack. Okay. Information.
Spirit of our ancestors are clear. The Montgomery, Alabama was one of the biggest. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You know what? Let me come out and come back in.
Okay. All right.
Let me come back in. No, come back in.
Right.
There's something going on.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's information, man. Everybody coming here looking like Jackie Wilson.
Twist and shout.
So Black Point from YouTube said, my high school art teacher said that his 17-year-old sister died in Bloody Sunday because the pressure from the fireman water hose peeled her skin down to the bone.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes. Remember, that was in 1960. They said that was when they used the water hose, right? That was 1963 when it was the children that was marching. They marched for 3 days. So she must have lost her life during that time. We salute her. We salute all of them, because a lot of them are gone now. Some are still here. Or matter of fact, them descendants is probably the ones that was on that boat.
Yeah.
And went swinging.
Yeah. So G Car says the real hero is the kid that swam across the murky water. I know I wouldn't. She would. Black Pint says, me too, girl. Me too. I guess they wouldn't have jumped. I don't know. I mean, if you saw something going on, you don't think, it's kind of like people helping somebody in a burning car. You see a car that's on fire. People inside the car need help. You don't think about, you just grab whatever and you try to get those people out. So I'm sure that brother, he just saw his fellow co-worker. It was his co-worker.
Yeah, and he knew how to swim, as we see. Yeah. And he knew how to pull himself out, as we see. Because, like he said, I was watching Professor Griff today. He said I would have died from the first stroke. I would have drowned.
Right.
You understand? He said I'll wait till I get on water and start whooping ass, but I'm not swimming. And, you know, and I feel you. Not everybody's going to swim. Look at that water, but remember, our ancestors had him. It was Sojourner Truth, all of them. They had him. They had him while he was swimming across.
Yeah, Karen Francis said quite a few were already in the docks and did nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, information man.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I just technical problems. Yeah, I did a show related to the brawl or the situation in Montgomery, Alabama, and I kind of centered it around the history of the area, and you know that was one of the biggest. The Montgomery, that was the biggest dock for slavery in this part of the world, and they have the slave market right off of Commerce Street.
Yeah.
I think you froze again.
He froze again?
Yeah, I think he froze again. Now I know he froze again, unless he's doing
playing the still game.
Out of mind. Yeah,
you see, as soon as he talk about the history, as soon as he start talking about the history,
So actually have the buildings that are still there where they sold our people. And they were selling kids as well as the adults, the children, and they would sell them alongside land, livestock, and they had posters and advertisement, and they would in individual slaves, enslaved people, our people who had certain skills would draw the most money. So like 100,000, 100,000, 500 was like big money in those days to purchase our people in this manner. And those buildings still exist today in Montgomery, Alabama on Commerce Street. So and then there's a place called the Equal Opportunity and Justice Building, which is right next to the Hank Williams Museum. A lot of historical sites there. But
you know what I think?
I'm actually, a brother was in distress. He was being harassed. He was being beaten. He took some injuries, and I don't have a problem with black people coming together and trying to defend a brother. I mean, aren't we sick of the whole notion of black people harming one another for nothing? But in this situation, they came to the help of a black man. And then the thing that's funny, it's not really funny, but the folding chair has become this this funny memes all over social media. But that a black man is the reason why we have folding chairs.
Yes.
Nathaniel Alexander is the one that invented the folding chair. So
very interesting. Yeah,
that's my take on it.
Everything was spiritual. Think about it, y'all. Everything down to the boat was named Harriet.
I don't know why I can't hear you guys.
Everything where it was done at. Earlier that morning, they did a spiritual thing, the salute to the ancestors. So that's supposed to have happened. And like I said, I'm happy it happened in our lifetime. Because nobody can tell me they didn't wake up the next day singing Negro spiritual.
Yeah. You can't hear us, information, man? You can't? No? He said he can't hear us. Hello? Can you hear us?
Is he on mute? Are you on mute, boo?
I can hear him. He's not on mute. No.
I can't. Yeah. Is he froze again?
No, he's not frozen, but he can't hear us.
Frozen. All right.
He can't hear us.
All that fancy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I was curious as to if some white people don't think that we still they don't get that we remember our history and we know what's happened and we live every day. We pretty much live every day remembering our history. So any little thing that happens that's going to remind us of it is going to get a reaction.
Yeah, but not everybody know their history. Remember, they limited the history of slavery down there. Especially in the South. If you listen to a lot of people, they didn't give them a lot of education. Just like we have a political system and a health system, they have an educational system that did not teach our people not to be entrepreneurs. They taught them how to follow the rules.
Yeah. I mean, this to me, this reminds me of what happened. I don't know if you guys saw what happened with Jamie Foxx. I was going to talk about it a little today, but I don't want to talk about it really. But Jamie Foxx sent out a tweet about something about they killed Jesus, and if they killed Jesus,
what he can do to you,
right?
You know.
And then the Jews went crazy.
Fake friends. Don't forget the hashtag fake friends.
Fake friends, which we all knew it means if they could do it to Jesus, what makes you special? It has nothing to do with. But the Jews came out and just stomped all over that, made him apologize. Another black man apologizing for something that, didn't.
And I'm not apologizing for something that I didn't mean that way.
Right.
He didn't mean it that way. I done said it before, but I didn't even know why it was so sensitive. But you got to remember the Passion of Christ. They still trying to get over that.
Yeah, but see, we always have to apologize so quickly. Even Jamie Foxx, who's got some millions in the bank probably and living a good life, still has to apologize if he wants to continue to have a movie career, I guess. Whatever TV shows offered to him, he would apologize quickly. I mean, it was quick.
Yeah, because they signed his checks and he do not want no beef with them. But still, I felt like, why would you apologize for something that you didn't mean that way?
That's what I always
disrespect.
I never understand when you got millions of dollars in the bank why you're afraid though. Like I have to apologize if I offend somebody. I don't have millions of dollars in the bank like Jamie Foxx. So when the Jewish people sign my check, I can't be pissing people off. I need my check signed. But Jamie Foxx probably got enough money in his bank where he can live comfortably the rest of his life if he manages his money correct. I'm not in his bank account. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and think that should be the case. This cat's been making millions for years, right? So he should be financially okay where he's,
Right.
but
he's not. He's not.
I don't think we should. Now, you guys might know more about this than I know. I'm not in show business, but I don't think a lot of these entertainers have as much money as we think they do, because they may be beholding to a lot of other interests that we don't know about. Look at what's that guy? I'm not a big fan of him, but the guy, I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why. I have a big problem with them choosing him to play the story of James Baldwin. There's so many other better actors. He's not a good actor, but
I can't do that. See, I can't give that for you. You know why? Because I think Billy Porter, I've heard he done did too much. All right. He done did too much, but Billy Porter is a great actor. Also,
what movies have he really played in that were great though, my sister?
Is he? Wait a minute.
No, wait a minute.
I didn't know he played.
Let me just.
Is he playing Baldwin? Is he playing?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah, but I know that. I'm not even arguing that point. I know that he's gay, but I just don't think Billy Porter. I'll just be honest with you. What movies have Billy Porter been in that were really dramatical movies? He's played a lot of, I think, stuff that's sort of like average type stuff. He hasn't played any dramatic roles, what have you. I think there's too many good, fine actors in Hollywood that could play. Baldwin was a very educated man, well-spoken. I just don't see Billy Porter. And the problem I have with Billy Porter is he likes to throw black people under the bus because he hasn't gotten over whatever trauma he went through in his upbringing as a gay man, where he still has problems with the black community that didn't accept him. So he decides to trash black people all out there in the open. And now he's setting up here talking about how he doesn't have enough money to pay for his house since they've been on this strike. And last time I checked, didn't you get married to your daddy? So go back to the daddy and ask him for some money. So that's my take on Billy Porter. And the reason why I bring him up is because a lot of these actors, I think, don't have as much. They don't will wealth. There's a difference between having money and having wealth. The people in the Jewish community or in Hollywood who run Hollywood, they got wealth and they control the industry.
I agree with you, man. 100%.
We don't know how to. We don't know how to, because I don't understand how none of these actors have forever houses. You understand? A house that you know you can go to forever is yours.
Right.
Why would you pay $10,000 and $15,000 for a
Right.
house and your job can stop today or tomorrow?
Right.
Or those people, the man can say, I don't want you no more. Or I'm
Right.
sick and tired of you. You already see what's going on with Lizzo. You understand what I'm saying? She done flaunted her ass all over the place. Now they got you for sexual harassment.
Right. It's sad.
So they always got a control over you. This is why you're always supposed to be up on one. So I don't feel sorry for none of those actors. I'm sorry. So when you over there crying broke, you crying broke because you didn't manage your money properly.
Right.
You really think this stuff lasts forever? You understand? Right. They don't care about us. You need to invest in your community. You need to invest in businesses that's going to build your community. So when this stops, you have something to fall back on, and you have people that love you and respect you.
Right.
But don't ask us to give you a tissue, Tito, so because you can't pay your bills.
Well, we're all in a situation where we sometimes can't pay our bills. So I don't think actors they make more money, but if they don't manage their money properly, like any of us, they're going to be in the same situation. How many of y'all do you remember? I know y'all remember this. The great late Jim Brown. When Jim Brown left football and went into acting, he had a house, and he said people used to laugh at him when they would go to his house because he didn't have a lot of furniture. He had pillows and stuff all over the place. And he said he didn't care because he knew that the money was only going to be as good as he gets a picture. So he didn't splurge a lot of stuff early in his acting career. He actually lived in Eddie Murphy lived in a house where he didn't have a lot of furniture.
That was a Barbara Walters interview. She came into his house and he had no furniture, just pillows. Yeah, Barbara Walters and Eddie Murphy sat on the floor. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Pam Grier had her house, her ranch for almost 40 years. She's still living on her ranch. You understand that she kept. So yeah, I think they, like you said, they mismanaged their money properly.
Well, remember Pam Grier did an interview where they asked her, because I think actors and entertainers go through this where they have a dry period. So she was saying that a lot of people don't realize that when they do get big money, they kind of store, if you're smart, that is, right? You store some of that money away for the down times in your career when you're not getting the jobs. That's how intelligent actors and entertainers manage their money, right? And a lot of times you think that these people own these fancy cars. A lot of times they're renting them.
Yeah, and it's more expensive to rent them when you can just have one good car like Cav.
Right.
Which is why we
I got two cars, damn it.
Hey man, I ain't hating on nobody that can afford it what they can afford. If you can afford it, hey, more power to you.
Which is why we have to keep apologizing, right? Because they know we're not managing our money, so they know we gotta apologize whenever they say, "Hey, you better apologize." They know they have to apologize.
Hey, look, I don't know much about Billy Porter, but for him not to own a house and have it already paid off and just be paying some property taxes on the side is simply unacceptable. I don't know what this cat doing in his personal life, but this cat's been all over my TV stream for the last 2 years. He should have something paid for. His BMW should be paid off. He should be making no monthly payments.
Yes.
And he shouldn't be making no mortgage payments. There's no way you can go into and buy a house for a couple $100,000, a respectable house, and call it a day. You ain't got to live in Tyler Perry's mansion. You ain't got no mansion like Tyler Perry. You ain't got no mansion like Eddie Murphy. These guys are on different levels because Murphy and Tyler Perry and these guys are making millions for years. And Oprah, they're on different levels of wealth. But these new entertainers like a Billy Porter and these guys, man, still, I don't know what this cat doing. For him to be on television talking about he got to sell his house was shocking to me because, you got to sell your house. I mean, come on, man. You probably making $15,000, $20,000 a night for doing personal appearances,
But
okay.
But what's crazy about that, though, brother, is that it's not like the strike has been going on for a whole year or 2 years. I mean, they've been on strike for what was it, 3-4 months right now? Or is it less than that?
It's less than that, yeah.
So then what does that tell you? If they've only been on strike for a short period of time, you can make an educated guess that Billy Porter has been piss poor, and any other actor like him or entertainer, piss poor at managing his money. Because how can you go that broke within that short of time when it's not like the strike has been going on for like a year now. So he should have had some nest money. He should have put some nest money away, right? If you're making that kind, if I'm making that kind of money, you should be putting something to the side. You should have an accountant, and you say this is getting sliced to the side over here. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be pocket watching the guy. I mean, you know.
No,
it's a lot of entertainers. You know, it's a lot of entertainers, guys, that's in this industry that, you know, you think are doing well, but they're not doing well. You see, I mean, we've been trained to see, you see a guy on television, you automatically think he's a millionaire because he's on TV.
Right.
You know?
He's not.
It's not that way, you know. So you see a guy on stage and you think he's rich. You see a guy on television, you think he's rich. You see a guy in a movie, you think he's rich. I've known guys that have done movies that were sleeping on people's couches out in LA. You know, when I lived in Los Angeles for 4 years, I knew guys that had, you know, that were doing sitcoms and stuff like that, had parts in sitcoms and were doing stuff, and they were still crashing on people's couches out in LA because they weren't really making enough money. Even though they were on TV, they weren't really doing that well financially. So yeah, it's a misconception.
Remember Tribe Called Quest?
Yeah.
Remember what happened to them? And I love Tribe. I love their 50 years of hip hop. Yeah. Well, but remember what happened to them? Their most successful album in their young stage of their career is sold millions across the world. And I think Q-Tip said that he was still sleeping on his mother's living room floor. And they only got $30,000 a piece out of that album. They signed a bad deal. Everybody else got paid but them. Right. So that's why you know, I try to be measured with what I'm saying and just say, well, look, some of these celebrities are not making what you think. Some things are illusions. We get caught up in when they go to award shows and they got the tuxedos on and all of this, and we think, oh, okay, they must. It's not like really truly like that. I got a few friends I went to college with, or I've known that are in entertainment in LA, and they tell me all the time, man, it's a struggle.
Yeah,
you know,
because they living above their means.
Right. They're doing commercials here, or, you know, they're getting a short spot in a show here. But then there's a time when there's a dry spell and they're not getting any no opportunities, or they didn't get the part when they went and did their audition. You know, there's a lot of things about that lifestyle that's a struggle. We only see like when people are making the money and they're high up on the hog, but we don't normally see the struggle and the grind that they go through at the bottom of the floor.
And also a lot of them, again, they go through the grind, but they don't manage themselves properly. I'm sorry. They need to manage themselves properly. Because if I'm getting a $10,000, $15,000 check, I'm going to go get some land. Okay?
That's
then
true.
I'm going to go get me a business.
That's
See,
right.
it's a difference. I'm not spending it on $10,000 a month for an apartment or a house. I'm not doing that. I want to get some land so I can run naked on it.
That'd be smart. That'd be smart to do.
Funny you mention that because I was thinking about which Cobb's son. He had to sell his apartment down in Miami. What's the talk show host?
Wendy Williams' son,
Wendy
Kevin
Williams'
Hunter
son.
Jr.
Yeah,
Oh,
he had to
okay.
sell it. He stayed in an apartment that was like something like $15,000 a month, $12,000 a month.
Oh, come on, man. 15.
And now his mom, you know, they cut that money off and he had to get out of there. But that's a lot of money in Miami to spend $12,000 a month for an apartment. I've been in some pretty fancy apartments. I can't imagine any of them being worth $12,000 a month.
But imagine what he could have done with that money if he would have invested in. You see, think about it. He's paying money for a place that he doesn't really own. Couldn't that money been better invested?
Well, imagine if he'd have worked for it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Let me ask you guys something. Is that a black thing? Is that a thing where I feel like for the black people, we want to show the world we're doing well, so we go out and buy stuff.
Yeah.
To show them that we're doing well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And a rich person is
I don't know if
wearing
it's a black
some
thing.
beat up
I think we're flashy people. I think we always like to.
very
That's just who we are. We like to, you know. You think
But
about. You go see like a black singer. I'll just throw somebody out there like I'll just say Gemini or somebody. I'll just throw them out there. Anybody you throw out there, any R&B, Keith Sweat. You go to the concert, right? And he's gonna be dressed in a nice suit.
Yeah.
New Edition, whatever. They'll be in nice suits. If you go see a rock band, Hall & Oates, for example, you know, they're gonna be in some jeans that they probably had for years, a couple of T-shirts. You know what I'm saying? Mick Jagger will come out on stage, some jeans and a t-shirt.
But I think there's something to it, though.
But
I think.
What I'm saying is, for years, 100 years, we've been told we are nothing. You're never nothing. You're stupid. You're this. You're that. So we want to show the world. Look at me. That's why we get the fancy car. We buy the big house.
Do we do it for them though, or do we do it for ourselves?
I think we do it because I'm not okay. So there was a video. I don't know if I showed it on this show or another show, but there was a brother in a neighborhood, and this white dude came out and was profiling him and asking what he's doing in his neighborhood. The neighbor across the street called. There's a black man sitting in front of my house in a car, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the black man started to cuss the white man out. And in the midst of cussing him out, the black man said, and let me tell you, I own a business. I got a business. Why do you feel the need to tell him? And I know why. He felt because he knew that white man looked at him as less than. So he wanted to prove to the white man that I'm somebody. I got a business. I'm not a thug. I'm not what you think I am. I'm not a criminal. So I'm saying, Kev, this is why black people go out and try to show the world. We always trying to show the world I'm not what you think I am.
I think part of it, my brother, is that, and we talked about this, I think, a week or two ago. I think that black people continue to want to impress on the world, particularly white society, that we belong. But I got to be honest with you. I think that most black people, when we do this, the only people that we're impressing is other black people. White people are not impressed by us coming out there like a what do you call it? A cockatoo bird with wings. They're not impressed when you talk about Paul and Oakes coming out there with jeans, because if you come from money, I've known white people like this. If you come from money, you've always had wealth, then you have nothing to prove. So you can come out there with busted up jeans because you already know that you have money. Black people, as you said already, Carl, you said that we've been taught or been told that we're nothing. We've been underestimated, undervalued. And when we get something, we first place that we show off is our neighborhood. You can look at all the entertainers back in the Motown days. What do? Get a Cadillac, you drive to the neighborhood and you impress everybody, right? You're basically saying, I have made it. And then after we try to impress our own people, now we're trying to impress white society by doing what? I can move in your neighborhood. Right? And I can be right next to you. So I think black people psychologically, we feel that we have to prove to the world that we can be rich, we can be all these things. Most people who have their self-esteem intact and know who they are and have nothing to prove because they've been there already and they've got it, they don't tend to flash.
I was listening to this interview by Natalie Cole where she was saying that her father, the great Nat King Cole, bought a house in Beverly Hills in a neighborhood where he was basically the only black guy there. And he went through so much abuse being in that neighborhood. And I'm thinking, well, why you just ain't move to another neighborhood where there was black people? I'm like, why would you move to this neighborhood where they didn't want you? Because you're a multimillionaire, Nat King Cole.
Probably has something to prove.
Anywhere you want to. Why do you have to have a house in that neighborhood in Beverly Hills where you're going to have people leave signs on your front yard calling you the N-word and all that stuff? Why you put your family through that? Why you just can't find a black neighborhood to move your house into?
Because
I never understood that.
Because he felt accepted. He's singing.
He wasn't accepted. He got called a nigga every day by his neighbors.
But what I mean, like,
but it's the idea. It's the notion that I, as a black man, that you look down upon. Guess what? I think it's like, what's that term? How can I say this? What's the term that they usually use for this? It's his way of sort of saying, I'm one-upping your ass, okay? This N-word can live in your damn neighborhood. It's this whole idea that I was kept out of this access and now I can be in this neighborhood. See, y'all see my black, you know what? I mean, there's a lot of black people that are like this. Who want to prove something.
The Jack Johnson syndrome is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if there's a better way to explain it, but I think there are. There are those of us in the black community who have to prove to white society, y'all didn't want me here, and I'm gonna put my black, you know what, right in your face.
But it's kind of like Kevin too. Like you got these basketball players, these football players who, when they're out on the field, out on the court, you got all these thousands of white people cheering. They're wearing their jersey. Like you got people with like love Kobe Bryant. But if Kobe Bryant was to ever try to date this sister or try to be any part of their family, you might be great on the basketball court. You might be able to run a touchdown, but I still don't love you the way you think I love you.
Remember Marcus Allen? Remember the rumor about him? What was the reason why Al Davis benched or had the coaches bench Marcus Allen at a time in his career when he wasn't at the downside of his career? The rumors that was flying in Oakland at that time is that he may have been allegedly messing around with Al Davis's daughter. Yes. She had a thing for him. That was the rumor. And Al didn't like it. So he punished him on the football field by not playing him. That was the alleged rumor. I believe it's true from all the people that I've talked to that live in the Bay. But I'm going to say again, allegedly.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I can understand Nat King Cole moving his family into that white neighborhood because he's like, I'm Nat King Cole. I sold millions of records. I have I have my own TV show. Everybody knows.
And most of the people that bought his records were probably white people too, right?
Right. So he's thinking in his mind, I have arrived. They love me.
And they
don't love you. They call him everything under the sun.
Right. Well, he found that out the hard way, right? He found out the hard way.
But Carl, you got to remember, he's right. Nat King Cole should have known better, because there was also talk that every time he would give a concert and the white girls would scream over him, the white folks didn't like that. And he damn near had to be escorted out of the damn theater after he did a set because the white girls were going crazy and the white folks didn't like that in that town. So a lot of times he had to be run out of town.
Yeah, they didn't want to.
So I don't understand. Now, I want to be respectful here. From my point of view as a 21st century dude, I don't understand how he could not understand that white folks, or of course he knew that white folks didn't like him. So therefore, he's right. Why would you move your family in a community? I mean, Bill Russell did the same thing. Remember, he moved his family in a community in Boston. Yeah. And he had people broke in the house and put feces and were putting all kind of N-words and trash in the place.
Moved out the next day.
I think he moved in a white neighborhood, and that's why that happened.
That's what his ass get.
Like
Bill Cosby. Shit.
Sam Cooke was the opposite. Sam Cooke was the opposite of these guys, though. I mean, Sam Cooke had a different. He was cut from a different cloth.
That's my baby father. I love Sam Cooke.
Sam Cooke was a different dude.
Yeah,
I can see the resemblance.
Got to shout out Kathleen Melrose from YouTube. Kathleen says, and I'm gonna read this. I quote, "I can't understand why your channel doesn't have more viewers. You guys are always on point."
Yeah, they are always on point.
With the black.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you very much. Well, spread the word.
Yeah,
spread the word.
Spread the word.
Yeah.
Spread the word. Tell your friends to tune in, watch us every Sunday. With special guests like the Information Man shows up and rock our show out.
It's like we're still trying to be accepted, no matter how much money we have. To be accepted. I think I was saying, it was last week's show where if you look at celebrities, I'm not putting anyone down, but there's a certain attitude, a certain way they carry themselves that you can tell. Like Oprah has it, Steve Harvey has it, Kevin Hart has it. These are celebrities that you can tell, but then the people who don't have it, that you can tell they don't give a fuck. What's the name of the brother that passed away recently, Kevin, that we like so much, that wrote for Richard Pryor?
Oh, Paul Mooney.
Oh yeah, Paul Mooney. Yeah.
Paul Mooney.
Yeah, I love Paul Mooney.
But you know what? Paul was great, but Paul also, in a sense, and I really can't speak for Paul. I didn't know Paul that well. I did know him a little bit. I don't know him that well. He's a strange cat, man. He's type of guy, you're in the room with him, and you get no eye contact with him. And I've been in the room with Paul Mooney several times.
That's true.
I've been in the room with him several times, like standing right next to him.
Yeah.
And he'll talk to you and not look at you. Like
that's crazy.
He'll look through you. Like he's the hardest guy to read. I'm good at reading people. You cannot read Paul Mooney.
That's good.
You know how a shark has those eyes You
Yeah.
can't really see what he's thinking. That's how Paul Mooney was, man.
Yeah.
Like,
He's a deep brother, though. Deep brother, man. And
you
Yeah.
know what? No, like after a show, after I'm done, after I get off the stage, I used to wait in the back until everyone left because I didn't want people talking to me. I didn't. I just wanted to be alone. You know what I mean? Because I kind of felt like people expected me to be the person I am on stage.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And I'm not that person. I feel like I would disappoint people.
Mm.
That's weird.
Oh, Carl, you got two different
Carl, he shouldn't be like
personalities.
that.
You
But
know what I mean?
you know what? But what most entertainers, Carl, and you should know that most entertainers are their alter ego on stage.
Yep.
You know, I mean, Michael Jackson off stage and Michael Jackson on stage is night and day, right? Prince off stage and Prince on stage is night and day. You know, you got some people you might like Lizzo might be Lizzo all the way around. When you see Lizzo on stage, she might be that same person on stage. But you got those great artists that when you meet them off stage, you know, they're very laid back and quiet, you know.
Right, which what I'm saying. Maybe Paul Mooney, he's that person on stage, but off stage, maybe he's just
I met Paul. If I could say, I met Paul Mooney years ago because he used to come to the Fillmore area of San Francisco. I think he had a sick mother, that was going through some medical issues, and I used to see him on the 38 Gary. But he used to get on the bus, ride the bus, be in the grocery store, and I walked up to him and talked to him for a minute. And I had to agree with your assessment. When I went up to him to say hi, shook his hand, he had those shark eyes like he didn't even see me. So when you said that, I was like, damn, that was the same experience that I had with him. And he used to walk through the neighborhood because he had, I think, a mother that lived in the Fillmore area of San Francisco that got sick, and he was taking care of her for a minute. And I saw him on the bus. I was like, hey, shit, that's Paul Mooney. He was just chilling. And I said, Mr. Paul Mooney, good to meet you. And he just kind of slid his hand out, shook my hand, and his eyes was just like razor sharp.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the hell to think of the guy. I gotta be honest.
He's serious.
No, he's that
Remember,
dude,
he done saw stuff that we would never see. You understand? He don't walk with Eddie Murphy. He wrote for Eddie Murphy. He done his comedy was so cutting that it was amazing. You understand?
Oh, yeah.
Because he said how he feel. He kept it real. He was like Cleopatra is black. Okay,
he was supposed to be.
real. He said, and they get nigga wake up calls. So
He was supposed to be a big star, Tiff.
Huh?
He was supposed to be a big star. They were pushing for him to be a big star, and he was the guy that Hollywood was gonna make that big. Hollywood always makes their stars, so they were gonna make Paul Mooney a big star. But Paul Mooney was very radical in his thinking, and they were like, we can't put this guy out there, so they put Richard Pryor out there.
Oh,
That's how Richard Pryor became what he became because they couldn't convert Paul Mooney to be that guy. They wanted Paul Mooney. He had the look and everything. They're gonna put him in the movies. They're gonna do everything for him. Hollywood, the Jewish Hollywood, whatever you want to say, are gonna get behind Paul Mooney and make him that guy. But because of who he was, his mindset,
he's too radical. He's a professor.
Too radical, and they couldn't change him. They ended up getting his buddy, which was Richard Pryor. To be that guy, and Richard fell right in. That's how that all went down. That's the history right there for you.
Right, and Richard was also a drug addict. He was controllable.
And Paul never did drugs again. And
Never
Paul
did
never
drugs.
did drugs.
Right.
Paul was drug-free. Paul never did drugs. Never even smoked a joint.
Right. And did y'all hear the latest report? Arsenio Brother Hall has jumped out the window and said that, I don't know why he had to bring this up, but he said that Richard Pryor had introduced him to the candy, the cocaine.
Well, I think
recently.
That's
I'm going to say this. This was in an article. Matter of fact, I saved it to my phone. It was an article that came out. You got to take things with a grain of salt, of course, where Arsenio Hall was recounting the time that he met Richard Pryor at one of the comedy stores. I think it was the Comedy Store.
Yeah, Comedy Store in LA.
And that Richard Pryor, he said that Richard Pryor had introduced him to the little candy, they called it at that time or whatever, the powder.
Yeah.
And that he started taking part in it because of Richard Pryor introducing him to it, and that it was a common thing that comedians would do where they would have this stuff, that they could sniff. It was just a commonplace. That's the way he made it sound in the article. I think they interviewed him. Matter of fact, I'll find the article on my phone right now because I saved it in my email system.
And while you're doing that, let me say this. People wanted to be Richard Pryor was a king, and if you wanted to be in his circle, you had to do the things that he did. And he was into a lot of wild stuff, crazy sex. For what we know now, both partners,
Oh
men
my
and women.
goodness. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, he went both
Alrighty.
ways. So we're starting to find that out now that Richard Pryor was
Yeah.
bisexual.
Yeah.
He did
Okay,
all
here we
the
go.
drugs. Yeah.
I'm gonna drop this in the chat room.
Okay.
It's called this is the title. Richard Pryor booked Arsenio Hall a ride on the cocaine train. This is on cracked.com. I'm gonna put this in the chat room. People can click it.
He wasn't the first one, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say because Red Fox was turning people out on drugs.
Well, no, I'm saying
Red Fox was doing stuff.
No, you okay, Tiff? Did you fall? You okay?
No, I didn't fall, but I'm here.
Okay, as long as you're okay.
Let me say
That's
this
the
real
main
quickly.
thing.
Marshall Warfield, from Night Court, comedian Marshall Warfield, came out a few years ago, and she said the same thing, that one of her reasons she ended up in her financial situation she's in, that she went through anyway, she blew all her money on cocaine because Richard Pryor was the one that got her hooked on cocaine. So so.
Oh, what a shame.
So there's been a lot of people coming out saying that, but she said she was a young comedian coming up in the ranks in LA, and she wanted to be in his presence. When you want to be in his presence, that was just part of giving in to being in the presence,
No, listen, that drug thing is serious. Pam Grier said that's how she found out that he was on drugs. Yeah. She said she had went to the GYN. And they asked her, was she on drugs? And
oh my goodness.
Drugs.
Oh.
And they said because of her having intimacy with her sex, the whatever is in a man's semen will come into a woman. And that's what made her blood act like she was on drugs. So that's why she said she had to break up with him. Because
that's a sad story.
First of all, Richard Pryor, you blew it with Pam Grier. You're on my list right now.
Yeah, he blew it. And women, watch your vagina. If your vagina start changing. And
oh my God.
Check the man out. Okay?
Check the man. Well, I got to be the man's fault.
Yeah. No, the women too. It says women too. If a man is not doing drugs and his wife is a cokehead or she's doing stuff and he's sleeping with her, it's going to come in his system too.
Oh God.
You're telling me
this all this sounds horrible to me.
We just turned to the Jerry Springer show, ladies and gentlemen.
And a lot of people don't know that, and it's real talk. So yeah.
So you're telling me if a woman gets with a man that's an alcoholic, she can get drunk? Is that what you're saying?
No, I wouldn't say drunk.
No, I'm just.
But
I'm saying, Paul.
Yeah.
We both can agree we would have stopped doing drugs with Pam Grier, right?
All right, let me okay. So let me address this real quick. We got a I don't want to say stalker, but this guy once again, he just posted, Carl is the coward, let me know when you're in NYC. Listen, I don't know what you want from me. I have no intention of fighting you. I have no intention of ever meeting with you. I want nothing to do with you. I'm going to report you to YouTube. I'm going to report you to the police. I'm going to save all this stuff because this is getting out of hand. This guy once again been threatening me for the last 2 weeks. Okay? I want nothing to do with you, brother. Nothing more to do with you. I'm done. This is the last time. I am making a report of this to police in where I live, and I'm also going to report it to the police in New York City. Okay? So just leave me alone, man. You don't like what we say. You don't like the show. Just why are you here every Sunday? Why? There's millions of other shows on YouTube. And you keep coming back. You want to meet me. You want to do this. You want to do that. Meet you in New York. I don't fight. Dude, I've never had a fight in my entire life. Ever. And I don't intend to start. So
what we need to do, I think you should just do this. I've seen this guy come in and make those kind of comments. Collect all your data.
Yeah.
But I would just block this individual or something like that. I would, because I don't tolerate this kind of stuff. And these are what you call trolls. He wants to get a rise out of you. That's why he's coming back and he does this. That's what it's really all about.
Yeah, that's what trolls do, man. They get a rise out of everybody gets them. I mean, in Information Man, you and I listen to a lot of urban radio talk shows, and we know all those guys have trolls, man. Joe Madison has these trolls, so, and he cuts them off, he blocks them, so that's what you got to do.
Yeah, I've been
some
told you
people
to
are
block
telling
him.
me to quit giving him attention and report him. Yeah, but I just wanna let everyone know what I'm dealing with, just in case.
Yeah, when you get to that point where you're starting to get threats and stuff like that,
Right.
and guy, I'll meet you and fight you and all that stuff. That's when you time to just block his ass and let it go.
How old are you? Why do you think I'm
My
going to mute
thing
you?
is why? And again, if you don't like our channel and does not excite you or fill your cup, you can move on. You can go to the next channel. It's so many podcasts out there that you can be able to go on. And like you said, he would never go on a white platform and do that. So again, we're not going to give him no energy call. I've been told you to block the tank top bandit.
No, I'm not. This is the last. I mean, but I just wanted to put it out there so other people can see. And if it ever has to go another step, I have all this evidence and I have all these other people watching that can verify what I'm saying. I'm gonna deal with this the right way. No, I'm just not putting up with this.
It's Information Man fault because we on over 2 hours. We didn't even see him for the whole bunch.
I know. I'm about to drop off because I got my daughter just came. But I would just say, hey, keep doing what you're doing. Usually when trolls come in and they say things, it's because they want you to respond to them to get you off of the focus of the show and make them the center of attention. This person wants the attention, and it's a waste of your time. And he keeps coming back to watch the show. I think the person really likes the show. That's why they keep coming back. If you didn't like it and you didn't like him, why do you keep coming back?
Yeah, the full interior.
And I guarantee you, don't come to my channel because I have an army of people that will destroy you. So please, I'm just being honest. Don't come over and troll people.
Yeah.
See, don't troll.
We're working on getting that army thing.
But
I told you, book one button.
Well, I'm saying, I would rather people come up and have intelligent conversation about the issue. What is it? What is it about? Why is he messing with you? I don't understand why people. Yeah. What is it, man? You don't like his glasses? You don't like his hat? I mean, what is it?
You want a date? You want a date?
Anyway, let's anyway, I'm gonna drop off though. I'll be back next week, man. Good to see you. And and we have to schedule. We got to get you back over. Yeah. You know what I'm gonna do? One of these days when you guys go live, I'm gonna click the stream this to your platform so people can hear what you guys are talking about and promote the channel and all that good stuff. But I'm out of here. Y'all keep talking. You look lovely as always.
Thank you, Information Man. You got a girl? You got a wife?
Nah, I'm single. I've been divorced for 13 years. I'm single guy. We'll talk.
This ain't Chuck Woolery.
Oh, I used to love that show. We be back in 2 and 2.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Take care. It's a great program.
Right, take care.
Peace.
Man.
All right. Okay.
All right. Let's wrap this up.
All right, everyone. That was the Information Man. Please check out his show. Like I said, his show is very similar to our show. He just brings the facts every Sunday. He's out in LA, so his show comes on a little earlier than ours. Before we wrap this up, Tiffany, anything you want to share? Anything you learned today that you want to share with our wonderful audience?
Thank you again all for coming out and checking us out for 2 hours. We did good. We did good. Thank you again to Information Man. Thank you again to our chat. I hope that we learned something today, especially with Alabama, the history. And for our white sisters and brothers, please do not try that in anybody's town. Okay? We don't want it. We don't need it. You understand? We just want peace. Okay? That's all we want is peace. Also, please, people, do your history. You know, learn your history, learn your background, fight to know who you are. You understand? And go out there and vote for people that you want in your community that can be able to help and assist you. But thank you again. Love you. Peace, love, and a flip chair. What you call it? The folding chair.
Kevin, anything you want to share or you learned from the show that you want to leave our audience with?
We got a great show. I love doing this show every Sunday. I look forward to the next Sunday show. The show's going to be hot as usual. Thanks for everybody for watching. And I'd like to sign off by saying, F the Republicans.
I want to thank everyone for checking out our show. We absolutely love that you guys take the time out from your Sunday to spend with us. We truly appreciate it. We don't take it lightly. You could be doing something else. You could be doing anything else. It's a summer day. You could be out maybe on a roller coaster or something. Who knows? But you're here with us, and we truly appreciate it. And on the topic today, I love the Black unity. Wasn't the best Black unity, but Black unity nonetheless. And it was truly enjoyable. I think Tiffany and I spent some time on the phone back and forth just enjoying the videos. It was a lot of fun. That being said, please tell the people you love that you love them.
At least you can get on the phone. Every time my phone call.
Huh?
No, man.
I got it.
I love you, Kev.
Off my
Shout out to
Christmas
your
list.
family. Shout out to your family.
Yes,
They
your
always
sister
watch
and
us.
your mom. Shout out to Kevin's sister and Kevin's mom.
Yes, they always watch us.
Trisha's watching. Yeah, thank you. Everybody's watching.
For the show, we love you guys, and we can see our numbers going up steadily. Hopefully, it keeps going in the same direction.
Yes, that'd be beautiful.
Yes.
Send us millions of dollars.
Yes.
Send it to me first. They got money. Send it to me. I need money.
So Kevin and I can go rent a house for $25,000 a month.
Yeah, that's what we need. Hey, that might be that way in a few years. Things don't change.
know, right?
I just want some land to build something.
Yeah, Kevin definitely wants some land. Yeah.
That's it. Just give me 5 acres of land, y'all. That's all I want.
All right, everybody. Love you guys and love your family, and tell your friends and family you love them because they're not here forever.
That's right. Peace and love.
All right.
Love you guys.
With the knowledge you gain, break away from the chains. We helping you grow the Black Therapy Show. You in a safe space, dealing with the black trauma. We unpacking and inspecting all our baggage and drama. Because we gotta unite, no more killing each other. It's time to see a new future for my sisters and brothers. You know it, Kevin, Carl, and Tiffany. You'll have an epiphany. We'll give you everything you need to handle the enemy. We'll be giving you empathy. We gon' challenge you mentally. The right conversation so you grow exponentially. We built your penitentiaries, we built all the schools. Gave us brainwash education, just making us fools. Hatred was what we got in exchange for love. No more manipulation from my God up above. No, it's Carl, Kevin, and Tiffany. Now welcome to the Black Therapy Show. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.